Here we go. Hey, we're John H. Lilly, coach of the Independence Patriots. About a special day for you today, John. Judah Price announcing he's going to WVU. Just your thoughts on that. That's something that the young man wanted to do, and now he's getting an opportunity.
Yeah, he's worked really hard for this. Most people know Judah knows that's his best characteristic is his work ethic, and he decided that he was going to bet on himself. It was a long process. He had a couple of schools that that he was whittling down. It was a hard process for him to make, but he decided to stay home. Coach Brown gave him a phone call, and I think that sealed the deal.
You said a couple of weeks ago to the Victory Awards that he was the toughest kid you've coached.
Yeah.
You've coached a lot of tough guys.
Yeah.
What made you say that on that particular evening?
Pound for pound. Yeah, this is 35 years for me, 30 as a head coach. Pound for pound, he's the toughest kid I've ever coached. I mean, hands down. He played state championship with a broken thumb. When it comes time to ring the bell, he rings the bell. I mean, there's no other kid that's had what he's had.
He said one of his, I asked him about moments that kind of defined his season, the Kennedy Award-winning season. He said one of them was Oak Hill when I think he had 10 points in that game. You know, the kid averaged 30 points a game, but he was injured in that game.
Right.
I mean, he had some type of injury. He said that just to be able to play through that injury. Is that what you're talking about when you're talking about this kid?
Yeah. I mean, semifinal game the year before last, broke his thumb in the middle of the game. Finished the game out, played in the state championship on that next Monday, 4 screws in his finger, then wrestled in the SAZ 6 weeks later. I mean, he's just a warrior, and I think his example by his teammates led everybody to play just like him. And I think, like Michael Jordan says, the greatest ones bring everybody else level up, and he brings everybody else level up. And hopefully his example will be for those that are going to follow in his footsteps.
Are you look at the things that he did, are you going to miss him for what he was able to do on the field, or what you just told me?
No, we'll miss him more. We'll miss him more off the field. His leadership off the field is phenomenal. He was the alpha dog. He's been the alpha dog since he was in 9th grade. 120-pounder out there telling seniors what to do. It's you just don't have those guys too often. And but I also think that the level of leadership that he's had has trickled down to the next generation of kids. So, between him and Atticus and those guys, we've had a pretty special bunch.
I don't have to tell you about the transfer portal and everything. You got a son that coaches in college football. You have been through the process with your own guys. You see him as being a guy who's going to stick it out and do everything he can to finish his career as a mountaineer, because those things don't happen a lot anymore. You well know.
Well, I think with guys our age, we see it different, but kids their age, they grew up in a time where they play on travel teams and they may play on different travel teams. And, kids their generation, they just see things a little bit different than the way you and me see them. I would say this, I hope he would stay, because I think it's going to take him a year to get adjusted to college life and play in a different level of ball.
How do you think they'll be able to use him? You were able to use him in the slot, and you used him as a feature back last year. Is a guy that can catch passes? Is he? I think Deuce Vaughn, we talked about this before, a perfect example. You see the Mountaineers being able to use him in that
I do.
that way?
I do, and I think that's what Coach Brown wants to use him as, a multi-purpose type guy. But right off the bat, their coaches have conveyed to me right off the bat they want to try to use him as a punt returner, kick returner, because he's got a knack for that. He just didn't get to show it his senior year because nobody kicked it to him. But if you followed his career, he was phenomenal on special teams.
Do you see him doing that soon?
It's hard telling. I'll be honest with you. I quit trying to figure out these college coaches. I mean, I don't know what they look for. I really don't. I mean,
well, you were very vocal in why is nobody getting on this guy, and a lot of people were doing that.
Well,
I
was upset because I think he can play on a high level. And, I'm sitting there looking at the college bowl games at all these backs that are smaller than him. And then I sit there and watch the picture of him side by side with Noel Devine. He's bigger than Noel Devine. So, I'm glad he decided to bet on himself. He's betting that he's going to go up there and he's going to show people what he can do. And it might take a year to get adjusted to it. But, if I had to bet any money, I'm betting it on Judah Price.
Well, he said he wants to show the coaches they were wrong, meaning the scholarship.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even on the Division I level now, where there's a lot of rule changes that took place this year. So you'll see guys on every team, and because of the portal, you'll see a lot of teams in football that'll have a lot of guys playing that aren't on scholarship because there's so many limitations on these guys. So I think he's going at the right time. I think WVU's short a couple of receivers, so he might be able to slide in there. I think he's got a good lead. He's got a good example of Hudson Clement that did the same exact thing he's doing, and he's probably going to be in the full rotation. And I think that motivated him. When he saw spring ball and he saw Hudson doing what he did, I think that kind of convinced him he could do it.
John, will you miss him more on the level of being a guy like the kind of guy you like? I mean, this year the motto was cold camped up. You've had other mottos down through the years. I know the kind of guy you like, the guy that appeals to you on a personal level. You're going to miss him for that reason too.
Well, I know people might not believe this, but I'm just going to miss him as a kid. I mean, there's a lot of times we'll just be sitting at lunch and just chewing the fat, and he's a well-spoken kid. He's a mannerly kid. And you can have conversations with him. I'll miss him more as a person than anything. But, as a football player, and a wrestler, it's hard to top that guy.
Final thing, will he be an example that you'll put up on the board when you talk about independence players moving forward? Some of these guys that he played with are going to know him, but guys coming up that maybe didn't get into the program 3 or 4 years from now, will he be the guy that's the poster boy for what you can do with this program? And if you apply yourself and do what he did?
Well, yeah. I mean, who would have thought a kid that's 5'8", 175 pounds would, have more accolades than Randy Moss had? And so that creates a standard for, all the kids in our area to say, hey, if Judah can do it, I can do it. Atticus was a beast, and you look at Atticus, he's 6'3", 230, so everybody's like, not everybody can be 6'3", 230, all right, but Judah's 5'7", 175. And did all this stuff. So I think he sets a standard for almost any kid in the state of West Virginia that, if you work hard and you try hard and you're a good person, you make good grades, then good things are going to happen. I'll tell you this, we'll miss him. I think we'll miss him. All right, now we'll be out there on Friday night, and he won't be out there, but trust me, we'll miss him a little bit.
John, I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.